This is task 1D part 1. You're asked to create the website, and in the first instance we need to show annotated evidence of how one of the hyperlinks was created. Well, before we can do that we need to have our navigation area set up, our hyperlinks area. Now if we just go back up to our original thing here, you'll see that we have all pages will include at the side a hyperlink to each page. And we set up this area here at the side called hyperlinks within our cascading style sheet that will be used for that purpose. So we need to set that up. So what we're going to do is on the home page, we're going to set it up on the home page, and then once we've done it on the home page, we're going to save it to all the other pages as well. So here's our file open, index.html, and we're just going to change our view down the bottom here to HTML tags, and what this is going to allow us to do is set up the sections. So before we start, I'm just going to put a few blank lines on here, and that's important because we might need to access this area later on, and once we've done what we're about to do, that will become a bit more difficult. Now, first thing we're going to do is put in what we call a container, and that container will allow us to put in the areas that we defined in our style sheet. So where it says body text, change this to generic container div, and you can now see that this div section, this div identifier, has been selected. Now what we need to do is set this first one to be of title class. So if I select title, we can now see we've got the yellow background in there. That's brilliant. We've got the width set up, so that's fantastic as well. And now what we need to do is put the other areas in. So we'll start with the navigation area. So remember I said we needed to create this extra space below, so I've done that. So we're going to go just underneath, and we're going to again put a generic container in, and we're going to then select the area that we want to have that to be, which is going to be this one here, hyperlinks. And then next to that we're going to be putting the main content area in. So if we go to the main to put another container, and we'll set that, well, I need to click on it to then be the main content area. Now don't worry about the fact that this has just gone a little bit skew-if. It's just because it's not fitting on across the whole screen, so it would do normally. If we go back to normal view, you can see now that it's set it up properly. And if we go to source, we can see the source of our code, and these are those divs that it's put in there. I can get rid of that line break at the end if we want to, because we don't need that anymore. Now what we can do now is go to the normal area. I'm just going to save this before we continue, and we can start to put in our hyperlinks. Well, we're going to have 3 pages on here, so I'm just going to make some space. We're going to have our home page, and if we just scroll up, we've also got our restaurants page, and we've got our contact us page. Notice I've left some space between them. Notice how it's picked up the white text, because that's what we'd set that area to have as text. I'm just going to put at the top here as well, sheep square, and I'm just going to put home page on there so we know that it is the home page. Alternatively, what we could actually do is put the word home page in here, so we'll just do that now. So I'll put home page, and what we can do is highlight that, change it to heading 1, and you'll now see that it uses the heading 1 style. Now if you haven't noticed, this text here is coming out a little bit bigger than this one, and that's a bit concerning because it should be the same size. So let's just check out our style sheet, and this is a good thing to do as we go along. We can see here in the title area it's set to 32 pixels as it should be, but H1 has been set to 32 points, and it should be pixels. So let's just change that to pixels, click on OK, and there we go. We can see now that the style is implemented correctly. So now we can actually create the hyperlinks that we need. So I'm going to do the home page first of all, because we've already got a file that we can link that to. So if I right hand click on here, I can select create link, and then I can click on the folder button and just select index.html. Click on OK, and you can see now that's underlined like you'd expect a hyperlink to do. Now these two, we haven't actually got the pages created yet because we haven't saved this as those pages. So when we create the link, I'm just going to call this one restaurants.html, and remember when I save my page I will save it as restaurants.html, and this one as contact us, and notice that we won't be using any spaces in there. Now that we've created our home page, we can actually use this as a template for all the other pages. So I'm going to save this, and we're now going to do file save as, and we'll say restaurants.html, and I'm just going to put in here restaurants so that I don't get confused as we go throughout, and save as, and I'm going to call this one contact us.html, and I shall put in here contact us. Now that we've done that, we just need to make sure that everything's working. So if we go to the view menu, no, I think it's actually under file menu, and we can now select browse page, and we'll just have a look. That's coming up now. Here it is. Click on home page, restaurants, goes to restaurants page, contact us goes to the contact us page. So all our links are working really well. What we've now got to do is show annotated evidence of how one of those hyperlinks was created. So this is what we need to do. We need to say what we did. We need to say that we created a hyperlink for the home page, and we need to show how we highlighted that and we selected the link properties, and then how we set the link location to be index.html. Now you might be using different software, and the principles are the same in terms of the evidence that you're going to be showing. If you're using the Composer software, then you're going to be laying it out very similar to this. That's the end of this part of the task. So that's 1D part 1 finished.